Okay, so we're at the final evaluation of the TAPR, and this one is for high school. So you can watch the elementary and the middle school videos, one of the two, to understand how this first page is interpreted, as well as the populations and the asterisks or lack of asterisks are here. So I'm just going to point out some of the major differences in the high school report versus the middle school and the elementary school report. So one, we do report out on the end of course exams, and that's because we may have students in ninth grade taking Algebra 1, or we may have 10th or 11th graders taking Algebra 1. So some of this is reported based on the class and not necessarily the grade level as far as when you're passing Algebra 1 exam or biology exam, et cetera, et cetera. So let's scroll down to some of the things that look different on this high school report. So again, you're going to have the attendance and the annual dropout rate. But what you're also going to have reported out is a 4-year, 5-year, and 6-year longitudinal rate. So we're tracking these students not just at a 4-year time period, so when they enter freshman year and go all the way through to senior, but what do we look at 5 years and in 6 years? So are we able to catch some of these students who are maybe retained from year to year? So it'll report out to your class of 2014 what percentage, again, graduated state, district, and campus-wide, how many received a GED, how many continued in high school, which means that they haven't necessarily dropped out, but they didn't graduate either with their class, and then so forth and so on for the class of 2013. And then this is, again, 2012 because we're looking at the 5-year report, and then the 6-year report goes back to 2011. So that's why we're seeing the 4, 5, and 6, because we're trying to capture all those students who have continued and not necessarily dropped out. So we want to see if they've retained, continued through high school, and eventually graduated. Excuse me, sorry. If we continue to scroll down, we see that there's also, they look at students who are with the recommended high school plan and the distinguished achievement plan. So students who are taking some of those higher level classes or not taking those higher level classes. Excuse me. We're also trying to track how many students are doing dual enrollment completion or advanced courses. So how many of those are doing some dual credit? And so we're tracking that population. What we're also tracking is the AB or IB results. So how many students are taking AP classes or enrolled in IB schools. We're also looking at SAT and ACT results. We want to see how many of those students passed the SATs or the ACTs. And here again, we're looking at how many of those students are enrolled in Texas Institution of Higher Education. And then we're still going to see some of those similarities. So what the student demographics are, the class size, what the teaching demographic is, the average teacher salary, and the student by program.